كتاب الله دستوري كتاب الله دستوري وخير الخلق أسوتنا
بسنته انجلى نوري لهدي الحق أرشدنا.
Quran is correct in every single level, saying this particular fluid that is emitted comes out from these two reference points, which it does. You are disputing this. I'm saying scientifically you cannot dispute this because I've shown you the scientific paper, I've shown you an anatomical description of it, so it's fine. Your only objection, but your only objection seems to be that why doesn't the Quran only talk about nutfa? Quran talks about elsewhere about nutfa, but this place it highlights something interesting. It asking men to ponder, you are not just only created from a sperm, that sperm came from a mixture of fluids so that it could procreate and create another offspring. All of these we came to know recently. This is the knowledge of modern science, that we realize the secretions of the seminal vesicles, the prostatic secretions and so on are really something that helps the motility of the sperm to reach to its destination. If you, all of them, look, if you had none of this mechanism present, do you think a baby would really produce? You have to produce in a testis, in a test tube, my friend. But the way the human physiology is this, all of these anatomical parts and their components are necessary for the safe transmission and passage of the human reproductive substance which creates another human being. That is what the Quran is saying. Have you not pondered on and reflected on the creation of your own self? That is the point I'm making, my friend.
Before I want to conclude, so
conclude.
We'll go on another topic, or maybe if you want to move back. The point is, as I raised earlier, if you ask somebody, do you know what you were, what made you, what created you? Have you thought about it? Of course, in the human system, we know you have to eat, and the food has to digest, and some of produce nutrient, proteins, and all that for your body to grow. So we know that. So somebody can also say, mine is created from food, because you eat the food and it digests, and then give you the sperm eventually, yes, from what we eat. Another person will say, before man can even have a baby, the system has to function well. The blood from, the brain has to be correct. The blood circulates, pump well in the heart, and then the male get up, and then it can, give the sperm to the woman. So if we want to go into how man or baby is created, there are so many things we can discuss. But when it says, have you pondered from what you were created from, it is logical that is talking about how you were, your mother conceived in you. And what made a woman to conceive is the sperm. So my question again, if he's asking you to ponder on what you were created from, and it's not talking about sperm, because sperm is not mentioned, but even if you say fluid, which he says that fluid ejected from between the ribs and the backbone, then it doesn't explain clearly, what I should ponder upon, on the fluid or on the sperm or on both. It doesn't state that. It says fluid. So if it's fluid, it can be anything, and not everything that make a baby. So I appreciate your point. If you are talking about production of sperm, you're absolutely correct, because several things will come from the system to make the sperm. But if it's talking of from what man or a baby is conceived from, then other things that made that sperm move into the woman is irrelevant, because you need the seed of the man to become a baby. Although other fluid help for smooth transmission, but that fluid transmission, the fluid that causes the transmission, is not part of the baby. It doesn't make a human being. It's the nutfa which you stated is correct. Nutfa make baby, and therefore if he's talking of the mare or water or fluid, then there's nothing to ponder upon. That's what my argument is.
Okay, let me tell you how I ponder upon, right?
Okay.
When the Quran says, let man ponder upon how he's created, right? How he's created. Don't say how, sorry. From what? Mimma khuliq. From what is created. The answer given is two-step answers. Now look at my pondering. It's created from khuliqa min ma'in dafiq, from a gushing fluid. Now the Quran, when I analyze all of the Quran contextually, I see the Quran talks about and highlights sometimes a particular component, other times another component to make a point. Here, it is not describing just with sperm, because it is describing the second part of this description, the emission of it. Because it's describing, look, I could be totally wrong, but my understanding, as far as I understand, is this. It is describing about a gushing fluid which emits from a particular reference point. We know scientifically, there's a doctor there, the gushing fluid that we're talking about, it is a mixture of the spermatozoa that are stored in the epididymis, traveling through the vas deferens, okay, all the way going up there and mixes with the prostatic secretions. The secretion of the seminal vesicles joins together from the Cooper's glands, the bulbourethral glands, yeah. So all of this mixture come together, the bladder neck opens, and then what happens is passes through the urethra and then is ejaculated. So the fluid, I am now pondering, it didn't just come from your testicle, my friend. Some people might think it comes from your testicles. It doesn't. This gushing fluid, indeed, on pondering that I realize, it comes from several of those components which mix together in an area described by the Quranic reference point, the anterior of a cylinder, a human body, which is the ribs, and the posterior other side, which is the backbone, and in between, not says from one and the other, says in between, and in between you had this area of the prostates and the seminal vesicles and the ampulla and the vas deferens. They are located clearly, scientifically, anatomically within that region. So when I ponder this, I say, subhanallah, how could someone even know this when we didn't even have the knowledge of physiology available at this time? So it is quite unique. That was the second part. The first part was even more unique, because if the sperm is contained within this gushing fluid, which described ma'un dafiq, which is self-emitting, self-propelled, it is a recent knowledge within human anatomy and physiology that the spermatozoa has a tail that wiggles and it has self-motility. It is motile by itself. That is why the Quran didn't use, which is the traditional usage, should have been khuliqa min ma'in madfuq. It didn't say madfuq. If you look at the interpreters, they say it means ma'in madfuq. Even most of the interpreters, they thought, oh, actually it says ma'un madfuq. But the Quran says ma'un dafiq in an active form. That's something that does the emitting or propelling or motility by itself. So when the Quran says, would you not ponder when you created? And I ponder, I say, subhanallah, this knowledge is from Allah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to leave it to that.
We have the other thing, which is just the last point, which is here we said, this brother, he is a doctor, and he says about the anatomy of this.
I'm not going to talk about the Quran. What I learned in the medical school is, so the spermatogenesis, that the sperm cells, which is it's synthesized, it's created in the testes, and it comes to the abdomen. So you take the abdomen is two parts. The one is the pelvic cavity and the proper abdomen. So the pelvic cavity and the proper abdomen, the intersection is defined by the place where the backbone, that we call the pelvic bone. So anterior superior iliac spine and the rib. The ribs are the covering of the pelvic cavity. So these sperms comes to the pelvic cavity where all these mixtures are comes. So from that point we call it as a sperm. The semen. Semen is a fluid. So it's a fluid. So it doesn't. You can't say the sperm cells, the actual cells, is not created there. So the fluid comes from the abdomen. That's completely
the argument.
The other thing.
The argument started that it is my opinion from reading the verse that it says the fluid that made man, or man ponder. Okay, let me read it again because I don't want to misinterpret. It says, so let man observe from what he was created. So what man was created, yes? If I ask you from what man is created, what would you say? From semen or sperm, right? You give him the same, the correct answer.
You just said it, semen.
Semen.
Yeah, semen contains sperm.
Semen, yeah, semen is a
Semen contains sperm, right? Exactly. Now,
so even the thing is, I am a doctor, so when I talk to a person or a patient, I can go and talk them. So I can't tell them you are created from this spermatogenesis. I can't use those terms.
I have no problem.
A white color fluid is coming, and the egg is there. So I can't tell them the ovum, and the egg is there. The sperm fluid is coming, and the egg is there. So the fertilization occurs. That's how the human is created. That's why I have to explain to a person. So,
I'm coming.
Yeah.
So
this is not a medical book.
The
so
question
this is for
is,
everybody. So
sir,
everybody should understand from the
sir,
Quran.
the question is, it's talking of a fluid. He didn't mention what fluid is that.
Yes.
But he says that fluid is ejected between the backbone and the rib.
Yes.
Okay. No any other fluid is
So the
mentioned.
backbone is here, I think. Backbone is the pelvic
where's
In
where-
Arabic, backbone is all from the coccyx.
Where's that?
From
No,
Adam's
the
apple to the
ribs
coccyx.
is where we measure.
That's Arabic backbone.
We measure from the
So
rib.
includes all of that part.
Sir.
Normally we call the backbone is the pelvic bone.
If it says backbone and the rib, we measure where the ribs and the backbone meets.
That's the problem.
No, it's not, because if you say
Now-
between here and here, is that what you are saying?
And that's what you've precisely.
I'll explain
No,
you.
I want to
I'll explain
understand
you.
from you.
But you have now precisely made this classical mistake, which I
no,
clarified
I am not the one saying.
There's another
Sir.
embryology. I'll explain you. There's another embryology is there. Before human is
Let me ask.
you know the human is, before human is born, you know where the testis is placed. The testis is here. Good question. The testis is here. Okay, so from the
I'm
the testis
talking
is here.
of what is said here. Sir.
Actually, the human
Sir.
the testis is created
It's
here.
not the testis I'm
And
talking about.
When the
What-
baby
you
is
said-
born,
you
it
said
has
what?
to travel from here to here. That's why some babies
You
are
say
born
what is
without the
here?
testis.
You say what is here? You say what is here?
Yeah, this from the abdomen. It's between the
No, you say what is here? The testis?
testis in the abdomen.
Texas.
Testis.
The testicle.
Testicles.
during the development of.
During the development of the
What are you
human.
talking? We're talking of a full-grown man. I don't know why you're talking of a baby. We are not talking of a baby's testicle. I don't know why you're going after.
So as I understood from you, you're saying when the two objects meet. Yeah, is that what you're saying?
It says.
After all of this explanation.
No, it says he was
Even if you see the evidence, I don't know how it is.
between the backbone and the ribs.
Where is
Now
it?
show me the backbone and the ribs. Maybe I'm wrong. Show me.
Your backbone starts from here all the way to your coccyx, and your ribs
the
is here.
ribs.
Right.
Where's the
So
ribs?
which place?
So between the backbone
Yeah,
and the ribs.
where is it exactly?
Point it for me.
Now, I'm asking you, point it.
You said I'm wrong, so I want you to point
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Your ribs comes up to
Wait,
here.
wait. If you allow me,
Your ribs comes up to here.
okay.
Okay.
If you allow me now
So
to
you
once
link it
more.
with the
Okay,
backbone,
wait.
And what does it mean?
Wait.
Here, right?
I think it's
No,
totally
no.
missed my explanation.
I want you to point it to me.
I
so
will
that
if you
I can
allow me now.
understand from your point of
I will
view.
allow you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You may have totally forgotten the example that I gave you about who is me in between me and someone or my friend in Marble Arch. Does it have to be someone in the middle? You said no. Do you remember?
Yes,
Right.
I did. Yeah.
So when we talk about in between two reference points, it is not in between means in the middle. It could be anywhere in between, right? Anywhere.
I agree,
Right.
yes.
So in between these two anterior and posterior, meaning front and the back parts, that goes all the way from the backbone and the ribs. This covers a lot of area because the backbone is all the way, the ribs is all the way from here to there, and the backbone.
Yeah.
So in between, I'm asking you, in between this, can that point refer to in
This
between
is
them?
not ribs.
So you don't understand what in between means then?
No.
Hang on.
Between.
Look,
okay,
look.
wait.
That is why.
Let me explain.
I need to clarify it further.
Okay,
No.
let me explain. The ribs is in front of me.
Theo.
My backbone is behind me.
Theo,
Okay.
that is why
No,
I
let
need
me
to
say
clarify.
something. Let me say something.
But you will have the opportunity. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever can guarantee what's in between their lips and in between their legs, he will guarantee paradise.
Yes.
Now, what is in between your lips? Is it your tongue? Is it your teeth? Is it your glottis? What is it?
Chin.
between
on.
my lips,
Yeah.
top and the lower.
What is in
It's
between?
my mouth inside.
Could it be your teeth? Could it be your tongue?
Teeth, yes.
Right. So you cannot pinpoint anything, right? So this is a description in Arabic language when in between can refer to, well, what you say in between, right? In between your legs start from your hips to all the way at your toes. Do you see how much part that covers? But when the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever guarantees what is in between the legs, he's referring to the private parts, right? Which is a specific portion within that region. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
So the phrase min bayna shay'ain, in between two things, is not referring to something in the middle. First point. Secondly, when the Quran talks about in between the backbone and the ribs, somehow you think it must be in between these two component surfaces in the middle. I'm saying no, it's referring to the whole of this process. Yeah, because you have a cylinder describing what's inside it with the two reference points, the anterior and the posterior, that anything in between this can be explained. The abdomen is included. The abdomen, the lower and the higher, they're all inclusive of that description. But you mistakenly understand that it refers to something intersecting these 2 points like in a straight line. The answer is no. This is a forced interpretation which is not true to the text.
Can I say this? If I point here and I say this is also between the backbone and the rib, am I wrong?
Okay.
No, it's a question, yes or no?
No. Before, I want to do one final example. What is the head in between your shoulders?
No, I asked the first question.
No, I will answer, God willing. I will answer.
Answer first.
No.
Ask me yours.
I want you to understand the principle.
I ask
okay, now I'm gonna.
Ask
again, please. Ask again.
If I point here,
yeah,
that is here between the backbone and the rib.
No. The ribs come from here.
It has to be in between them. So it's not in between, is it? Somewhere inside, in between, inside could be. Yeah, could be.
Inside.
Could be. Inside. Could be.
Inside.
Yeah, could be inside. Now, I want you to now understand something. Is your head in between your shoulders?
No.
This is the problem. That is precisely the problem of the comprehension of
the head
the
is
language.
above the shoulder. How can it be between my neck? Between the shoulders, that would be correct. No. See, if you say something, A to B, yes. Whatever between A, from A to B is what is in between. But A cannot be between B as well. It's not possible. So the question
in the language, you can refer correctly without making a linguistic error. Your head is placed in between your shoulders. If you dispute that, then obviously the problem is not with science, the problem is with language and how we communicate language. When I said, is the private parts of a man and woman in between the two legs, you would certainly say no, wouldn't you? Are you going to say yes?
Why would I say no?
Okay, so look, when you have two legs there, in between could be here, right?
Absolutely.
Could it be here in the middle?
Yeah.
What are your private parts?
But why are you taking the part which is at the top?
Because it's still between.
No. Why are you saying it's okay to accept that this description in between is that part is something that referred to? You will have no problem.
I ask
you know what?
question.
I think so far we've made our points.
See, this is why you did
if you think, look,
I
want you to conclude.
Here, let me say, I pointed here, and you said it's here rather.
No, I said it could be referring to the no problem.
So if I say from here, and you say it's from here, we both correct. But the point is, the question from this verse is not talking of sperm, as you said.
No, I say it refers to the fluid that contains the sperm.
It doesn't even say contain either.
I just told you the Prophet of Islam said this.
Let me say to you something else. In Arabic, since I'm Arab, ماء الرجل listen.
Exactly. Water.
ماء الرجل listen.
It can be.
Listen.
It can be sperm. It can be.
Okay, just a minute.
Just
a minute.
Brother, one moment.
In Arabic language, listen. When we said ماء الرجل, when they said the water of the man means the sperm, the semen.
I know, I agree.
And they said ماء المرأة as well, there is a water. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith as well, when he said about the male and the female, which is a hadith which is long details. But anyway, he said إذا سبق ماء الرجل ماء الأنثى كان ذكر بالأنثى, which means if the water of the man was rushed or
dominant.
before
I would use the word dominant.
Before was
That's
dominant.
where the chromosome comes in.
Dominant. than the water of the woman, then it will be a male. If the water of the woman was the dominant, the Prophet, he said water. He said water.
Yeah.
He didn't say sperm. He said water. Yeah, because it was something amongst Arabs. They know when they talk about water, they talk about that specific fluid. They're not talking about the drinking water. They talk about that. So this is for you as well to understand. If you want to reflect.
I disagree with you, and I know he understood where I'm coming from. The point we started was, is it talking of creation of sperm or creation of man? Okay, I did that. I made the distinction. If it's creation of sperm, I said, maybe you may be right. If it's creation of man, then it's specific. That's my argument, okay? Because creation of man.
This is what I want to.
That's why I say.
Can I just say one thing, please?
We have to probably change the topic,
please.
Because my understanding is creation of man rather than sperm.
So far we've discussed, right?
Yeah.
So far we've discussed.
Have you learned something too?
Do you see from the explanations offered to you?
Yeah.
Do you still see from my explanation that this verse is scientifically inaccurate?
That's my opinion.
What can I say?
Exactly. That's
I've given you explanation from science,
Because you made,
from anatomy and physiology,
sir,
referring to an andrology and urology journal, talking about how this is processed, going back and giving you from a picture with an articulate description, showing you from language and linguistics, from the statements of the Prophet, from the hadith which the Prophet explained that not all of the water is involved, showing you from the Quran in context where the nutfa, the sperm, is used elsewhere, showing you how the Quran sometimes emphasizes one part. For example, it says, you're created. For example, if I said, I created bread from flour, you'd say, no, that's scientifically wrong, because bread is made from flour and water. But what you are missing the point is, sometimes I can highlight a specific point to emphasize something. The Quran is here emphasizing the Mount Dafiq, which is something that is gushing forth, which is something that you should marvel and you should say, how can book 1400 years ago know this?
Okay.
Instead of doing this, you're saying, I still didn't say it.
I cannot say I created bread from sugar. I cannot say that. If I say I created bread from sugar,
If I say from
sugar,
flour,
no, I said
flour.
No, it can't.
Flour.
No, I know you said flour.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm
Would it be
also
wrong?
saying.
Would it be wrong if I
You
said
are
from flour?
correct, yes.
There
And
you go
if
then.
I
The case is
said
closed.
no, because are you listening to me?
I am.
I said if you say you created bread from flour, it's logical. Yeah, it still
What about
makes sense.
wheat? Can
It
we
still
say
makes
wheat?
sense. It still makes
But is it
sense.
made from wheat?
It still makes sense.
Is
sir.
it made from
Are you
wheat?
listening? I say it still makes sense.
Your
So now,
says yes.
if you say it's created from salt or sugar, it's wrong. You understand my point? No, it's wrong. If you say it's
If Quran says
Yeah.
the human is created from the sperm cells, that's wrong. The correct version, the correct term is it's created from the fluid, because the fluid contains the optimal pH, the optimal enzymes, and optimal all the antioxidants and all the. So without the fluid,
I
so
agree.
There are
If it's
a lot of people, those
Sir.
who have the problems with these.
ask
Can
him.
you hear this?
Please, yeah.
Can you hear it?
They produce sperm
No,
cells.
a doctor explaining it, we
I-
should listen to him.
I
Millions
agree.
of sperm cells, but they can't produce a baby
Sir,
because
sir.
they doesn't have.
He made the
listen.
distinction.
Listen.
He made a distinction here. That's why I'm trying attention.
Okay, did
it's
you-
not what you are saying that
Did
is
you listen
wrong.
to him?
Yeah, I'm saying
What
what,
did he say?
talking Islam.
what
I'm
you
not
are
talking
saying.
Islam. I'm talking
Sir,
about the medicine.
if you say sperm,
I'm talking
sir,
medicine.
listen.
If
You're not
without
listening,
that-
just
yeah,
listen. You
without
listen,
that-
man, he will listen to you.
he
without
was
that
not
fluid-
here when we started. If you say fluid
Yeah.
or water, I don't have problem. I told him.
Okay.
He made a distinction between the fluid or water from nutfa, which is the sperm. He made that distinction. And I said, if you make that distinction, then it's wrong.
How
That
is it wrong?
my argument.
How is it wrong?
That's my
Everyone is
argument.
confused. How is it wrong?
If you say to me,
Explain to him how it's wrong.
sir,
Explain.
if he says the man he's talking about here is water, which is coming from here,
No, not from
and
there.
here, or
He's
from
pointing
here,
again. You see how mistaken
or
he is?
even from here.
No, it's not from there.
Okay, from
No,
where?
from there in the exact
from
area
here.
science describes.
From here.
No, from just above. Look, from the epididymis,
the same question
traveling
to
to the vas deferens.
So, okay.
backbone, if you want. So the between that exists.
Fine.
Yeah, from that
So the
exists,
question
yeah.
is, he's talking of water, but he made a distinction. If you are said it's the fluid which contained the sperm, yes, that would have been his. There won't be much disagreement, okay? But when you make
But you disagree with that from the beginning.
listen, sir. When he says the fluid is meh, he made the decision meh. I don't know he used to say that, and then the sperm is nutfa, and he says this what he's talking about meh, and because and that's why I said if it is the production of sperm, I do not disagree. I told him that, but if he's talking of what man is created from, then I disagree. That is the whole
You
argument.
disagreed with the doctor already. He told you.
I said you make the distinction.
No,
you still
no.
don't understand.
He told you.
As you said, it's your perception. How you have understood.
يا أخي, let him explain where man come from, يا أخي, from his
It's
book.
water.
يلا
I don't
يلا
disagree.
let
I
him.
say.
does
If
your
you
book
say
Yeah,
man
exactly.
is created
What's your
from
book say
water,
about it?
yeah, I don't disagree. If you say man is created from fluid, I do not disagree. But if you make the distinction between sperm and water, you make the decision.
For a reason, I said,
Exactly.
brother, excuse me, please. Let's, excuse me, wait a moment.
You say from backbone and
Wait, Theo. The key point the friend here described, he said, if the Quran only talked about sperm, there might be a...
wrong.
According to him.
The one we read together says
look,
sperm
during
drop.
the emission process.
There's another place where it says sperm drop.
So before these 1,500 years.
If
So Quran could have simply said the sperm comes from the penis.
Do you think it's only Quran that have this anatomy?
that is the common knowledge, isn't it? But the Quran didn't use this for a reason.
So Quran specifically says it comes
Let me
from
ask you one
somewhere else.
question.
Yeah.
So we
Do
are
you think,
to learn something
sorry,
from that.
are you saying it is your argument that is only the Quran from 6th century that speaks about how baby is made? It is only the Quran?
No.
So how can that be a miracle?
Wait.
It's not a miracle.
This is, brother, excuse me, please.
We have another point now here.
No, he made one point.
asked the question.
Now, one thing you said here,
Yes.
something is totally mind-boggling. You came to discuss 1 or 2 weeks ago how the Quran is making a scientific mistake. I was, excuse, Akhi, please. Subhanallah, please. This is very crucial. Okay? If you don't have sabr, I have to ask you to leave.
Okay.
Joking. He's my brother. Now, seriously, mean it, he's my brother.
Yeah, no.
What I'm saying is this. I never started talking about this subject to anyone saying the Quran is so a miracle describing this. This was not even a subject of discussion.
And I never did that.
Look. Instead of discussing about the scientific accuracy of the subject at hand, you are saying the Quran is not miraculous. That is not. Let me finish.
That's not the argument.
Theo, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish, please. You just said, how is the Quran miraculous then?
No, you said it.
I did not.
Mind-boggling because it's from
mind-boggling.
that time nobody knows
No,
that.
no.
You said that.
No,
That's why. How
listen.
can somebody know?
Theo,
that? That's
listen.
why I asked you the
Theo,
question.
listen. I didn't say no one knew. People knew, and people had lots of mistakes into knowing. They knew that the actual sperm comes from your brain, diffusing through all your parts of the body, going through the kidneys, and then coming out. We know that Hippocrates believed this. Many Muslim scientists also believed in this. You will see this is reflected in the tafsir, in the exegesis of the Quran. What I am saying is, I am not here now claiming a scientific miracle.
Okay.
I came to answer earlier on your question where he says, oh, does God make a mistake? Do you remember? I said no. He says, okay, there you go, there's a mistake in the Quran. So what I have done so far, my aim and objective has been to demonstrate to you with science, with language, with context, that there are no scientific mistakes or error in the description the Quran provides.
Which I disagree.
Okay, no, you disagreed. You disagreed based on what is the question? You can still disagree, even the evidence is given to the contrary. So my final point is, look, in Quran says that he caused the progeny of the human beings from sulalatin min ma'in mahin, from a despite fluid, the quintessence of it. So elsewhere the Quran is saying he created from you a drop, like a nutfa, very tiny portion of it, right? Nutfa. That nutfa is within the ma, as we are describing from a fluid that is ejected, but not all of this fluid. So now we realize contextually both of the verses together, nutfa is the quintessence of this ejaculate or semen, which is truly the case from science. And why the Quran says the emission comes from in between these two reference points, sulb and tara'ib, because this is exactly where the semen is ejaculated from. You keep conflating with sperm. The sperm is not emitted. No. I made the distinction to tell you that it is scientifically wrong to say the sperm is ejaculated from the testicles, because what the ejaculate is not only the semen, it's only 5 to 10%. 60 to 65% or even more, as I said, is from the secretion of the prostate, and you've got the other glands together to make up the ejaculate. So when the Quran says what is emitted, that fluid that is emitted is not coming from the epididymis only, my friend.
So
let me finish.
I want to ask.
It comes from exactly those different components when they mix together, exactly in between the two reference points.
Okay.
Then you seem to have moved.
Then
Then
that emit from here. I want to do research on.
You are saying
what is the name of that fluid that come and merge with
in the medical
sperm?
terms, to the layman, it's called semen.
Semen.
Yep.
It's coming from between the backbone and the rib. That is semen.
No.
I want to know which one.
Theo, listen.
No. I think he still don't understand my question.
Okay,
but let me ask. No, it doesn't
Backbone is here.
matter.
Where's the rib?
So I want to know which fluid.
Yeah, you have 12 ribs.
No, okay, sir. Which fluid? Okay, the backbone and the ribs referred in the Quran. Which fluid is coming from there?
Okay, let me
I
answer.
want to know the
Okay,
name
let me
of
answer.
that fluid.
Okay, let me answer.
So that I can
answer. I am talking about the ejaculate, which is semen, and it's pinpointing now, which is there. Now, do you agree or disagree that it's not referring to that place?
I want to know the name of that fluid.
I just told you.
I go and research on it again.
I just told you.
And then I'm coming.
It's called
Sir,
the ejaculate during the emission of the sexual reproductive substance of a male.
Sir, please hear me the question again. Correct.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstand what you're trying to say.
The fluid
Yeah.
that come and mix with the sperm, the sperm drop. Yes.
No. The fluid itself is referring to all of the combination.
So when it starts from the epidermis, right?
What starts? This is one
the
part of
sperm
it, one component,
So
between
the
5 to
sperm,
10%.
the sperm. I'm talking about the sperm now.
Let's quantify it.
Yeah.
For your help.
Yeah.
The fluid is 100%. 5 to 10% comes from the epididymis. 60-65% comes from the prostate. Others, let me quantify again from the medical journal.
Let me write them down.
Write them down. So even though I gave you a medical journal, medical journal, this is the journal of, let me open it again, Translation and Andrology Neurology, Ejaculatory Physiology and Pathophysiology, talks about here.
I think the initial part is the emission and then second part the ejaculation.
Yeah. So here's the full table.
Let's go.
Look, the seminal vesicles contribute 65 to 75%.
Seminal vesicles.
You're going to check this, right? You're going to check accuracy of this journal.
No.
Sure, no problem.
I tell you the where the seminal vesicle is.
Prostate 25 to 30%.
Listen.
Vas deferens 5 to 10%. Bulbourethral glands 1 to 2%. And this is the composition of it. So that's the mixture of the seminal fluid in its proportionality. I can send you the paper if you want. I can tell you what the paper is.
No, let me explain you. So if I'm the backbone. Okay, so this is the rib. Can you point out between the rib and the backbone, the place? The rib is here. These two hands are the ribs.
Yes.
And I'm the backbone.
Yeah.
Can you place the midpoint?
It's here.
No?
I can.
No.
You know what?
Yeah.
The midpoint.
From this radius, from here to here, this is the midpoint. Yeah. From here to here, this is the midpoint. Yeah. From here to here, this is the midpoint. Okay. So if we go between here, this is where the pelvic cavity is there. This is where the bladder. So from the bladder, this vast difference comes here,
Exactly.
and it joins the bladder behind the bladder posteriorly, and the 65% of the seminal fluids comes from the seminiferous, that the gland is situated there. So from there only the fluid is ejaculated.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
You see,
Okay,
you
so-
see the flaw. You see the flaw in your analysis. You see the flaw in your analysis.
When we talk to him, he
I'm
doesn't
coming.
reflect.
Always medicine talks. Always medicine talks the axis.
Sir.
There's a sagittal axis, there's a frontal axis,
So-
there's a
He
horizontal
would disagree with
axis.
that.
So
medical
which
qualification.
one?
You can't.
So which one is that?
From here to here we have the ribs. From here to here. So you can't point here.
No, no,
Here's the
so-
first,
no, no,
this is
no,
the first
no.
rib, this is the 12th.
Is
this
it on the
this is
vertical or the
So
horizontal
here,
one you're
the
talking
rib is
about?
like this. And this is
This
the
is the
backbone.
backbone here.
This is the
And that's
backbone.
the ribs, yeah.
So where's the in
Point,
between?
where is between?
This should be the in between. If you draw a radius here, this is the midpoint. If you draw this between two ribs, this is the midpoint. So from here, this is the midpoint. So this is an axis. Okay, so always the medicine talks about axis.
Just like your head between your
what you are
shoulder.
saying, yeah, is this, yeah, this is the backbone.
Yeah,
This is the
let
ribs.
backbone here.
Yes, this is the ribs, yeah.
I'm the
then-
backbone. No,
and then-
I'll explain. I'm the backbone.
Did you get his analysis?
He's talking about joining the
Yeah,
backbone.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Why? You
Somewhere
said,
else.
because you already made up your mind. You agree with
No,
everything
no,
you're saying.
I'm just talking about
You have made up your mind.
He's talking
Because
medicine.
I
He's talking
disagree.
medicine.
You will not agree with me. So, sir, listen again. Okay.
So you agree
If
with
this is
medicine
the
as well?
ribs.
You disagree with medicine?
This is the ribs. Yes, okay. We know this is the ribs. Yeah.
No, from here to here.
He's extending the ribs to
Yeah,
make
here. This is
a
my
hollow
ribs.
vessel.
Listen.
It's a cylinder.
Sir, this is my ribs.
Yeah, cylinder.
Here, down here, it's not the backbone. Because here is my stomach.
You didn't say that.
Are you listening? No, I want you to hear me.
I'll just tell you.
Between my
I'm telling you.
let me finish.
I want to point.
Let me
No,
finish.
I want to point this point.
Let me finish.
No, just as I explained.
Used as a cylinder here.
Yeah, I'll just explain
We
you.
meet again next time.
No, no.
Yeah?
Listen
Because
to a doctor
he's
when he
already
explains.
made up his mind.
No,
It doesn't
He
matter.
disagrees with medical
Doesn't
explanation.
matter.
No, I'll just
Are
explain
you a
you.
Muslim?
No,
Are you a
just-
Muslim?
No, I'll just explain.
Are you a Muslim?
No, I'm a doctor.
Are you a Muslim? Are you a Muslim?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
What
So
did I say?
basically,
What did I say about
no, he already agreed with the Quran. Can he contradict the Quran?
I'm not talking about the Quran.
So what do you want to take from me?
education didn't come from here. When he wanted to be a
This is my
doctor,
ribs.
Did
This
you
is
become a
my
doctor by
ribs.
studying the Quran in your medical school?
This is my ribs.
So what you talking about?
This is my ribs.
No.
This
No,
is
what I'm
my
telling. No,
ribs.
what I'm telling you.
Here is my stomach.
Yeah.
It's not ribs.
Okay.
It's not backbone. Here it's my
Theo
stomach.
is speaking now.
So if you
Quiet.
point here as backbone between the ribs and backbone, you are wrong. I'm saying between here and here, rather you will be correct. Between here and here, you'll be correct.
Is
And
your
I
head
will not
between your
disagree
shoulder?
with
Is your
you.
head between
But when
your
you,
shoulder?
as a doctor, you point here as between the backbone and the rib, then I have to doubt your doctrine.
Is your head between your shoulder?
Anyway, thank you very much.
Is your head
my
between
brother.
your shoulder?
Is your
Why
head-
did you
Theo.
have to doubt
No,
someone's
because
qualification?
it's wrong. How can you say
He
my
didn't
rib
say
is
that.
here and here
He
is
didn't
between the
say
backbone
that.
and the rib? How can you say that?
He
Theo.
never said that. He never said that. If
So
you do
I
understand
said
that-
between here and
What's his
here,
name?
you'll be correct.
Theo.
Because it's here and here.
Theo.
Where they
Dr.
join
Theo.
between the
Dr. Theo.
Now when you say
Is your head? Listen.
Dr. Theo, Dr. Theo, Sheikh wants to ask you something.
And I said that is wrong. That's why I disagree.
The language, the
I'll
language.
tell you.
I disagree. Anywhere
No,
here you
I-
are wrong.
you-
Anywhere here
yeah.
you'll be right.
Your liver is situated in the mid clavicular line.
Your stomach is
It's how the anatomy book says. Your liver is situated in the mid clavicular line. So where's the mid clavicular line? Where's the clavicle? Where's the clavicle? This is the clavicle.
Yeah, this is the clavicle.
Yeah, the anatomy says your liver
And
is
this is
situated.
cervical. This is cervical.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
cervical.
the anatomy describes your
include
liver is
the
situated.
Can you listen to what
Listen,
he said?
listen. Can you listen?
Your liver is here. Okay.
Yeah,
Liver is
it's
here.
here, yeah.
Your liver is situated in the mid clavicular line.
Yes.
So you would you?
He will say no, it's wrong.
Yeah.
No,
So
no.
mid clavicular line. So
When
the-
you say
yeah. No, that's
as a
how the anatomy
doctor,
describes. Yeah.
sir, as a doctor,
Yeah.
when you tell me between here and here
Yeah.
is the rib and the backbone,
human
I
body-
say your doctorate, I doubt it.
That-
But when you say,
Yeah.
I swear on the Bible, I said I doubt that because
Which
it
Bible?
can
Which
never
Bible?
be here. It can never be here. If you go to any physician and he's talking about between your ribs and backbone, this is where they will point. This is where they'll point.
We are
not
talking
in front
about
of you.
English
Because
language.
the Quran
We are talking about
is wrong,
Arabic.
you want to accept that. And I
Theo,
said I would
Theo,
disagree.
Theo, now, okay, it's my turn to now. Okay, you can go, but I want to conclude now. I want to conclude. Theo, listen. Several confusions. The last confusion is you are forcing an interpretation of your language understanding
From the Quran, not mine.
No, not from the Quran.
Can I finish?
Can I finish? I mean, that's wrong.
Can I
to say
finish?
it's not from the Quran. It's from your own understanding.
From the Quran.
You understand
That's your understanding.
from the English language, in between the ribs and the backbone is referring to here. Now, scientifically, this interpretation of yours is wrong, as a doctor was saying, and you doubt his medical qualification. No problem. No problem. I apologize on his behalf. Anyway, Theo, my next point. My next point. You are forcing your limited understanding of the language to refer to in between the backbones and ribs to refer to here.
Anatomy always when organ is defined in relation to another organ. So you can't just say this organ is there.
They meet here.
To clarify the point again, when the Quran describes in between the sulb and tara'ib, I said these two reference points refer to or point to a particular area in between them. Now, where exactly this point is what you are disputing and what we're trying to clarify.
Exactly.
You are somehow pinpointing that it means these are the ribs and that's the backbone, it must be here. I'm saying no. Just like the example in the English, in between me, I'm going to repeat the same example, there's no point repeating another example. In between me and Marble Arch train station, I'm going to meet a friend. He would say, using his principles, in between me and Marble Arch, it must be somewhere in the middle. But I'm saying no, it could be here or any point between the two reference points. So when the Quran describes, and I gave you a hadith of the Prophet, where he described, he guarantees paradise to an individual who can safeguard what is in between their lips and in between their two legs. We know that in between the two legs there's a huge area, but here it's referring to a particular point, which is still correct. It could refer to in between the two knees, right? Linguistically. You are forcing an interpretation in between the backbone and the ribs is referring to here. I'm saying this is your misunderstanding of the language and the phrase people use. So I've given you example from the Quran about the ma and dafiq. I've given you example from the hadith, how the Prophet explained the phrase in between. Your misunderstanding in a nutshell then comes from your limited understanding of English language, forcing this onto the richness of the Arabic language. That's all I can see.
By the way,
there is no scientific mistake in the Quran. Is what I have demonstrated.
You are saying I have limited understanding. You are saying I'm misunderstanding
glands, which is the breast, yeah?
And you are saying I don't know anything.
This is as well, Allah described
so what we discuss in Surah chapter 86, verse 5 to 7,
Allah described which means
a man should ponder on what he was created. He was created from a fluid that is emerging between the backbone and the ribs. This is the argument.
Okay.
Initially, this
I will go from
about the sheep.
the
You're going to talk about the
verse
sheep.
between 5 and 6 is talking about the fluid. And 7 is talking about the baby coming out. That is initial understanding. But even if he has to take my point of view, that is talking about the sperm or fluid, he will still prove it in scientific way that the Quran is correct.
Okay.
Which I did.
The last thing,
everyone
the last
here
thing,
said,
the last
When you were talking, I was silent.
معنا نهج حياة جئنا تبصرة عن كل ضلال أعددنا بضع رسالات تحمل نورا للأجيال معنا نهج حياة جئنا تبصرة عن كل ضلال